Hello everyone, welcome to day 104 of playing chess every day for you. Let's find the game. We're starting with the black pieces, and we get d4, so I'll play d5, queen's gambit, so I'll decline it. I can just develop my knight here, go to pin the knight, although pinning the knight gives my opponent a strong center, so we probably don't want to do that right now. I can stop a knight jump in with f6, but I think just trading the knight off looks good. Although if I develop my bishop now and we trade knights, I'd have to move it. So maybe I play f6 now. I think I'll pin the knight now, just so I have more room for my knight to move. Maybe put my knight on f5 or c5, c4 from white's perspective. Develops their bishop. I can just bring my knight here. I'm seeing I can play knight to e4, or actually knight to d5 from our perspective, because this is pinned. I go here, my opponent has to defend this. So that's what I'll do. I'll attack the piece that's pinned to the king. They could protect with the queen. I'm trying to see if I have any tactics here. Right now we're threatening a pawn, so my opponent has to defend. I want to activate this bishop, bring him to the game. Queen comes up. So the queen is not attacking my bishop, but defends the knight. But that move doesn't look so good. If I attack the queen and they take, I don't have any forks. I wish I could attack the queen now. I can defend the bishop with my queen. And then go after the queen. Like this. This doesn't work. My plan is just knight a4, but I think that could lose a piece. If a queen gives me the check. If a queen gives me a check. Opponent's planning jumps. Decides to castle. I can attack the queen here. This looks like a strong attack. The queen has to go back. I'll be able to take here. Queen just goes back. I can take here. And I have very powerful knights in this position. This pawn is hanging, but my attack is very strong. I don't mind losing this. Takes my knight. So I guess if I take the knight, I lose this one. But then I'm attacking this. I take, they take. I take. This knight just moves. I wish I could attack the queen, but that's not possible. I could long castle here with pressure on this pawn. The knight's not threatening anything here, except for the pawn. And it's being attacked twice. I don't really want to play f5. Maybe I need to. I can play f5. Then my knight is hanging. So the pawn and the knight is hanging. I could just go back to defend. That blocks my bishop off. I'll just go back and long castle. Wipe a pawn, but we're gonna lose it. Could go here to attack this pawn. But then I lose this. But it comes with tempo on the queen if I win this, so decides to take with the queen. So right now the knight isn't in danger. I think I just castle here. Now my opponent is attacking my knight. If I go here and they take with the bishop and I take, and they take, That's not good. If I go here, they take. I can take. Decides to take. I can take with the bishop here, but then the queen takes. So if I take like this, the queen takes, we take. If I take here, my opponent takes here, and I go here. Takes, takes. Takes, takes, take, goes here. My opponent wins material here. If I take like this, I think I take with the bishop here. If the queen takes though, we're forced into a queen trade. And I just mouse slipped, oh my. I mouse slipped my bishop to c5. Attacks my rook. I can just pin the knight like this. Knight goes back. Taking here isn't great. But taking here, he doesn't lose a rook. But it's just not good. I can go for this skewer. Then my opponent pushes. I can go after this pawn. Playing g6. Winning this. Also attacks this. Chooses to take. I can take with the pawn. Taking with the rook doesn't seem so good. Don't want to rook trade. Have to keep my only pieces on the board. If they push here, I can push. I can't push, but defends the pawn. I can take this way. I have to take this way. I can take here first. If takes with the rook. If I take here and takes with the rook, and we go into this, we actually lose. I have to push here, but then hit this, and I think we lose the pawn. Rook up to defend. I have to bring my king to support. I think my opponent can just block my king off. Decides to double up. If I go this way, the knight can just take, and I lose a rook. The knight is very annoying. If a rook trade happens, we go into a rook trade. It goes after this pawn. I have to give up the piece. And I resign in this position. I played with a 76.4, my opponent an 86.7. I played like a 1250, my opponent like a 1500. It's actually best to play knight to f6 first. I get the jump in here, which is good. I should have just taken this. I still should have taken this knight to keep this on the board. That's a mistake. Yeah, I blundered. I should have kicked the queen first, which forces the queen away. The queen... I guess the best move would be this. So here I blundered this sequence. I guess we'd be down the pawn, which isn't the worst. But instead so we blundered the pawn there. But obviously, in this position, if we just take... No, taking there is wrong. We have to take the queen first. And then we're doing fine without just down the pawn. What happened was I wanted to take with the bishop, which actually was a terrible move, because my opponent just takes her, and they have a strong position. But I blundered by playing bishop to c5 by accident. I wanted to take. So we just lose material. And we both played accurately in this endgame. There wasn't much we could do. And I resigned here, because I just can't do anything here. Even if I push, my opponent just gets a pawn. To promote, my king's across the board. So this game we lost because of this bishop to c5 move, which was a mouse slip. I guess castling was a blunder here, instead of kicking the queen away first. But it only blunders one pawn. It's not terrible. One point of material. Losing 1 point of material isn't horrible compared to losing 8 because of a mouse slip, so we just down material for the rest of the game. Down the rook. And we end up losing the endgame. An unlucky move. I probably should have taken more time. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.